The starship Endeavour glided silently through the lavender skies of Lyrixa. The clouds shimmered with colors that seemed impossible. Turquoise streaks mingled with pale gold, and beneath them stretched fields of crystal flora, which pulsed gently, as if alive. Humans had visited many worlds before, but Lyrixa felt different. It was a world that seemed almost too perfect, too organized. Every structure, every creature, every movement carried a deliberate grace. Captain Marcus Reeves stood at the front of the observation deck, arms crossed, watching the alien city below. It was a city of towers that curved like waves, reflecting light in strange prismatic patterns. Alien vehicles zipped between them, moving in smooth arcs, as if obeying some invisible dance. Marcus had been trained for diplomacy, but nothing in the academy had prepared him for the sheer elegance and the intimidating intelligence of Lyrixa's inhabitants. "Impressive, isn't it?" said Lieutenant Arya Chen, peering over his shoulder. Her voice carried both awe and nervous excitement. "Impressive and terrifying," Marcus replied, with a wry smile. "We're walking into a society that doesn't even seem to have mistakes. That's the kind of world that could make you feel like a clumsy child." Arya laughed softly. "We survived training on Earth. Surely we can survive a few aliens asking strange questions." Marcus didn't answer. He had learned long ago that in diplomacy, silence was often safer than words, especially when the words could be misunderstood. And judging by what he had read in the lyrics and reports, misunderstandings happened frequently. The Endeavour touched down gently on a landing platform shaped like a giant leaf. As the humans disembarked, they were greeted by a delegation of Lyrixans. Their skin shimmered faintly, like moonlight reflecting on water. Their eyes were larger than humans, golden and almond-shaped, yet their expressions radiated curiosity, rather than hostility. At the front of the delegation stood the alien princess Valera. She was taller than any human Marcus had ever seen, and moved with a grace that seemed almost unreal. Her cloak flowed around her like liquid silver, and her golden eyes scanned the humans with an intensity that made them squirm slightly. Marcus bowed slightly, a gesture he knew would be recognized as polite. "Greetings, Princess Valera. I am Captain Marcus Reeve, and this is my crew. We come in peace, and we hope to learn from your people as well as share knowledge of our own." Valera's lips curved in a faint smile. "Welcome to Lyrixa, Captain Marcus. I have read much about humans. Your species intrigues me." Marcus nodded, careful not to show surprise. Many alien civilizations found humans odd, but intrigue could mean anything from admiration to suspicion. After brief formalities, Valera motioned toward the humans. "I have a question. Perhaps you will find it unusual, but it is one I must ask. How many times can human copulate daily?" The words hung in the air like a thunderclap. Lieutenant Arya's eyes widened, and even the usually composed Marcus felt a jolt of awkwardness. He had prepared for questions about technology, politics, biology, but not this. Marcus cleared his throat. "Princess Valera, that is a very personal question." Valera tilted her head, her golden eyes gleaming. "On my world, we observe other species' reproduction for insight into stamina, resilience, and social dynamics. Humans are said to possess extraordinary capacity. I must understand this, for it may inform how your species survives and thrives." Marcus blinked. Resilience, stamina. That's one way to put it. He had learned that when aliens asked blunt questions, diplomacy required honesty, but phrased cleverly. "Princess, humans are remarkable for many reasons," he began carefully. "We have endurance, creativity, and the ability to adapt to challenges. That includes biological functions, yes, but also mental, emotional, and social resilience." Valera leaned closer, clearly intrigued. "Explain this, give me evidence." Marcus glanced at his crew. Arya raised an eyebrow and shrugged, silently telling him to handle it. He smiled faintly, a mix of amusement and pride. Humans always had a way to impress others, not through raw strength alone, but through cleverness, teamwork, and humor. Very well, Marcus said. "Let me show you human vitality." The humans were led to a large demonstration arena, a structure shaped like a spiraling crystal, open to the sky. Aliens watched from above, their curiosity palpable. Marcus motioned to Arya and two other crew members, and they began a series of demonstrations. First came endurance tests. Humans ran, jumped, and climbed complex obstacles designed to mimic extreme Earth environments. They dodged mechanical challenges, balanced on narrow beams, and solved intricate puzzles under pressure. Valira watched, her eyes widening as humans seemed to combine physical agility with mental sharpness effortlessly. Next, the humans demonstrated team coordination. They built a complex tower using alien materials, working together without prior instruction. Aliens who valued efficiency over improvisation murmured in astonishment. Humans not only succeeded, they improved the design midway, adapting to unexpected changes. Finally, Marcus presented the cultural aspect of human vitality. The crew performed songs and dances from Earth, combining rhythm, memory, and storytelling. Even without understanding the language, Valira could sense the energy and emotional depth humans carried. She tilted her head, a gesture humans interpreted as thoughtfulness. "You humans," she said slowly. "You are unlike any species I have studied. Your energy is astonishing." Marcus bowed slightly. "Thank you, Princess. Energy and resilience are part of who we are. They help us survive harsh planets, dangerous environments, and challenges we cannot predict. Our strength is not just in our bodies, but in our minds and our bonds with each other." Valira's eyes narrowed thoughtfully. "And this stamina, this energy you display in all aspects of life, it extends to reproduction?" Marcus smiled, carefully avoiding explicit details. "In a way, yes. Our species is designed to endure, to adapt, to thrive. Biology is only one part of the picture. Our resilience, creativity, and determination are the true measure of our vitality." Valira seemed to absorb this. Her golden eyes reflected a mixture of curiosity and admiration. For the first time, she paused her endless questions and simply observed. Humans, she realized, were not just strong in one sense. They were exceptional across the board. As the demonstrations ended, the humans were led to a ceremonial garden. Bioluminescent plants lit the paths, and gentle streams created a soothing melody. Aliens moved gracefully among the flora, observing with quiet fascination. Marcus finally allowed himself a sigh of relief. "I think that went well," he murmured to Arya. Arya chuckled softly. "Well, you just answered the princess's most awkward question without making anyone uncomfortable. I'd call that a victory." Marcus smiled, looking toward Valira. She was seated on a floating platform above the garden, watching the humans interact with alien flora. There was still curiosity in her gaze, but now it was tinged with something else. Respect. The princess finally spoke. "Humans, you have left me speechless. Perhaps your species is indeed extraordinary. I must learn more." Marcus inclined his head. "We are honored, Princess. We come in peace and hope to share knowledge, friendship, and understanding." As night fell over Larixa, the city shimmered under twin moons. Humans and aliens alike walked together in the garden, learning from one another. The air was filled with wonder, laughter, and curiosity. Valira looked up at the moons, then at the humans, and thought to herself, "These creatures are nothing like I imagined. Their power lies not just in their bodies, but in their minds, their hearts, and the bonds they share. Perhaps we have underestimated them." For the humans, it was only the beginning. Larixa was full of mysteries, challenges, and knowledge waiting to be discovered. But one thing was certain: humans would leave a mark on this world, not through force, but through resilience, ingenuity, and the ability to amaze. The morning sun rose over Larixa like a glowing pearl. Its light spread across the city, reflecting in the crystal towers and painting the streets in soft gold. The air was filled with the hum of alien activity. vehicles that floated silently, citizens moving with perfect precision, and creatures that glimmered like living jewels. Yet amidst all this, the humans stood out, not because they were bigger or stronger, but because they were alive in a way Lyricsons could barely understand. Captain Marcus Reeve led his crew through the central plaza. The humans had been invited to participate in a series of cultural and physical challenges designed by Princess Valera herself. She wanted to test human stamina, adaptability, and creativity. From the moment they had arrived, Valera's curiosity had only grown, and her questions, awkward though they were, hinted at a deeper fascination. "Remember," Marcus said, glancing at his team, "we're not here to show off. We're here to prove that humans can adapt, survive, and thrive no matter the environment." Lieutenant Arya Chen grinned. "Adapt and thrive, huh? That's basically our motto on Earth." The first challenge was a maze-like obstacle course, suspended in the air above a shallow river of shimmering liquid. The walls of the maze were transparent, allowing the Lyricson spectators to watch every move. The humans approached it cautiously. The course was designed to test not only physical agility but intelligence and creativity. Certain walls moved, obstacles appeared at random, and the floor occasionally shifted. Marcus went first. He jumped onto the first platform, landing with precision. He ran, ducked, and climbed, all the while solving small puzzles embedded in the walls. One section required him to recognize alien symbols and step on them in the correct order. He paused for a second, analyzed the pattern, and then leapt forward. The Lyricsons gasped. Next was Arya. She moved with a different kind of grace, more fluid, more adaptive. When a platform began tilting beneath her, she adjusted her stance, sliding across with ease. She solved the symbols almost instinctively. Then came the human crew as a team. They had to cooperate, helping each other over gaps, creating improvised bridges using alien materials and coordinating movements to reach the center. By the time they completed the course, Valera was wide-eyed. You are faster than I expected," she admitted. "But speed is only one measure. What of endurance?" Marcus smiled. "Princess, endurance is more than running or climbing. It is the ability to continue, adapt, and succeed under stress. Watch closely." The next demonstration was a test of mental and emotional stamina. The humans were led to a series of alien puzzles, giant mechanical spheres that required both physical interaction and logical reasoning. Each sphere contained a challenge. Some involved balancing energy flows, others involved decoding alien patterns or symbols, and one required the humans to communicate without speaking, using gestures and intuition. Arya approached the first puzzle. She touched the sphere, and tiny panels opened in response to her movements. Symbols shifted, lights flashed, and a gentle humming filled the air. Arya paused, then mimicked a motion she had seen on Earth with a different puzzle. The sphere responded. Perfectly, Marcus and the others joined, coordinating silently. Each human's action complemented the others. The sphere rotated, lifted, and finally opened a hatch, revealing a glowing crystal inside. The crowd of Lyricsons whispered among themselves. Valera stepped forward. "Remarkable. Your species works together with such instinctive understanding. You are fast, yes, but your intelligence and teamwork are what truly impress." Marcus nodded. "Princess, that is exactly it. Humans succeed not because of individual strength alone, but because we combine strength, intelligence, and cooperation." Next, the humans were asked to participate in the Cultural Vitality Challenge. This involved performing Earth music, dance, and storytelling, blending them into one demonstration. Lyricsons had never seen such expressive art forms. Humans moved to rhythms that were complex and energetic, telling stories of survival, exploration, and triumph. The aliens listened, fascinated by the concept of emotion expressed through sound and movement. They did not have music in the same sense. Their communications were precise and logical. Yet humans created patterns that evoked laughter, suspense, and excitement, all at once. Valira could not hide her astonishment. You use your bodies, your voices, your minds all together. Is this common on Earth? Marcus laughed softly. Yes, Princess. Humans find ways to combine our abilities. It strengthens us, entertains us, and binds us together as a species. It is part of what makes us resilient. After the cultural demonstration, Valira grew bolder in her questioning. And your stamina, your endurance. It applies to all areas of life, Marcus replied carefully. It does. Humans endure harsh climates, extreme planets, and dangerous situations. We survive through creativity, adaptation, and perseverance. This energy is not just physical. It is mental, emotional, and social. Valira seemed intrigued, but skeptical. I wish to test this further. You claim humans are extraordinary. Show me your capability in a sustained challenge. Marcus raised an eyebrow. What did you have in mind? Valira gestured to a large arena beyond the plaza. The arena contained shifting platforms, moving walls, and complex devices that reacted to human movement. The challenge was continuous. The humans would need to solve puzzles, climb, balance, and adapt for hours without pause. Marcus turned to his crew. This is it. Let's show them what human resilience really means. The humans entered the arena. Hours passed. Lyricsons watched in awe as humans ran, jumped, climbed, and solved problems. When fatigue began to set in, they encouraged each other. When a puzzle seemed impossible, they approached it from a new angle, finding solutions the aliens had not anticipated. By mid-afternoon, Valira was speechless. She had expected endurance, yes, but humans' combination of physical strength, mental agility, and social cooperation was beyond anything she had imagined. One moment stood out. Marcus had reached a platform high above the ground, holding a heavy alien tool. A wall began to tilt, threatening to throw him off. Arya shouted instructions. 2 crew members moved into position to stabilize it, and Marcus leapt at the precise moment, landing perfectly on the next platform. The crowd gasped. Valira whispered to her aides, This is not merely strength. It is extraordinary intelligence combined with resilience. I did not know such creatures existed. Finally, the challenge ended. Humans, though tired, stood smiling. They had endured every test, adapting to every surprise. Lyricsons applauded, though it was unlike human applause. More a synchronized shimmer of light and sound, but the meaning was clear. Humans had impressed them. Valira stepped forward, her golden eyes fixed on Marcus. Captain Marcus, your species, I cannot fully comprehend it. You claim to have endurance, adaptability, and resilience. Now I see it firsthand, Marcus bowed. Princess, we are nothing if not adaptable. We survive and thrive because we work together, think creatively, and never give up. That is the essence of being human. Valira nodded slowly. For the first time, she did not ask the awkward question that had brought them here. Instead, she observed humans quietly, absorbing their energy, their creativity, their vitality. Later, as humans rested in the ceremonial garden, Arya laughed softly. You know, I think we just redefined what it means to impress an alien princess. Marcus smiled, looking up at the twin moons. We didn't just impress her, Arya. We reminded her that humans are extraordinary, not in a single way, but in every way. We endure. We adapt. We innovate. We amaze. Valira watched from a distance, contemplating. These humans, they are unlike any creature I have studied. Their power is not in their bodies alone, but in their minds, their hearts, and their ability to work together. Perhaps I have much to learn from them. By nightfall, the humans had already begun forming small friendships with Lyricsons, sharing stories, meals, and laughter. It was clear that this exchange was about more than challenges. It was about understanding, respect, and mutual admiration. And in her private chambers, Valira scribbled notes for herself. Humans were curious, resilient, and brilliant. She had asked a question out of blunt curiosity, but now she realized the truth. Human vitality could not be measured by a single number or statistic. It was measured in action, thought, and spirit. And on Lyrixa, for the first time, an alien, Princess truly understood the extraordinary nature of the human race. The morning mist over Lyrixa's city had a soft golden hue as the humans prepared to explore the heart of the alien civilization. Captain Marcus Reeve and his crew stepped off the observation deck into streets lined with buildings that seemed to grow like living trees. Every surface shimmered with light and every corner held a surprise. Creatures that floated without wings, devices that seemed to anticipate your movements, and citizens who moved with the fluidity of water. Princess Valera awaited them at the central plaza. Her golden eyes glimmered with curiosity, sharper than ever. Today, she had arranged for the humans to participate in the Lyrixian Society Challenge, a series of cultural, intellectual, and physical trials meant to test newcomers' ability to adapt to her world. "You have impressed me with your endurance and creativity," Valera said. "Now I wish to see how you function within our society. Can you thrive here among our rules, our customs, and our ways of thinking?" Marcus bowed slightly. "We will do our best, Princess. Humans learn quickly and adapt to new environments. That is one of our greatest strengths," Valera smiled faintly. "Then follow me, the first trial begins now." The humans were led to a grand arena where the streets themselves seemed to form part of a vast interactive puzzle. Tiles beneath their feet shifted in response to movement. Walls rose and fell, creating corridors and chambers. In each section, they faced tasks that combined logic, agility, and social understanding. The first trial involved communication with alien technology. Holographic devices floated in the air, projecting patterns and symbols. The humans had to interact with them, discovering sequences and responses. While most Lyrixians relied on pre-programmed protocols, humans approached the devices intuitively. Arya Chen studied a device that projected spinning shapes. After a moment, she reached out and mimicked the motion, intuitively aligning the patterns. The device responded, light swirling in approval. Marcus helped another device by combining gestures with verbal commands, blending Earth ingenuity with observation. Valera's golden eyes widened. No one in Lyrixa approaches these devices without guidance. Humans, you use both observation and intuition. This is fascinating. Next, the humans faced social trials. Lyrixians valued social harmony above all. A small chamber filled with citizens presented dilemmas that required negotiation, understanding, and diplomacy. Humans had to resolve conflicts without causing disruption, a task that would have taken even Lyrixian novices hours to achieve. Marcus stepped forward calmly. He listened carefully, then suggested solutions that balanced each party's needs. Arya acted as a mediator, using subtle gestures and expressions to convey fairness. Other crew members offered creative compromises. Within minutes, the chamber's inhabitants expressed their approval through a chorus of soft hums and synchronized light flashes, a form of alien applause. Valera whispered to herself, "Humans, your social intelligence is beyond what I imagined. You achieve balance without rigid rules, something we struggled to do." The third trial tested physical creativity in unexpected environments. The humans were led to a garden where gravity shifted. Unpredictably, platforms floated, rotated, and sometimes inverted. Alien tools that could not be predicted or controlled with normal methods were scattered throughout. Arya leapt first, adjusting instinctively as gravity changed beneath her feet. Marcus followed, using his understanding of physics to calculate jumps and leverage points. Together, the humans navigated the garden with precision, improvising solutions for tools and obstacles that no Lyrixian could master without prior training. Valera's fascination grew. Your ability to combine observation, reasoning, and action in real time, it is astonishing. You do not rely on strength alone, yet you succeed where others would fail. After these trials, the humans were invited to join a Lyrixian cultural ritual. It was a ceremony of light and sound, meant to celebrate the unity and harmony of society. Citizens moved in synchronized patterns, creating intricate displays of color and motion. Humans, unfamiliar with the ritual, could have appeared clumsy. Instead, Marcus and his crew observed carefully, then adapted. Arya mimicked the flow of the lights, integrating her movements naturally. Crew members combined gestures with timing, improvising steps that aligned with the ritual's rhythm. The Lyrixians were stunned. Valira clapped, or, rather, radiated her version of applause, sending a soft wave of shimmering energy across the plaza. "Humans," she said softly, "you do not merely adapt, you elevate the experience. You are inspiring." Marcus smiled. "Princess, humans survive and thrive by learning quickly, observing carefully, and applying creativity. This applies not only to rituals, but to life itself." The final trial was the most challenging. Humans were brought to a chamber filled with shifting energy fields that responded to thought, motion, and emotion. Any misstep could trigger a reset of the trial. It required endurance, precision, and mental clarity. Marcus and his crew entered cautiously. Every step demanded attention. Every gesture was scrutinized by the environment. Arya led with calm focus, anticipating shifts and guiding others. Marcus calculated angles and timing, helping the team navigate without errors. Hours passed. The humans remained determined, coordinating flawlessly. The energy fields reacted positively, allowing them to progress further than any Lyrixian novice could manage. Valira watched silently from above. Her admiration for humans deepened. She had heard stories of human endurance, cleverness, and creativity, but seeing it firsthand was entirely different. By the end of the day, the humans had conquered every trial. They had demonstrated intelligence, creativity, adaptability, teamwork, and resilience. Lyrixians, though advanced, had never seen a species handle such complex challenges with grace and ingenuity. Valira approached Marcus. "Captain Marcus, your species, it is unlike any I have studied. You navigate physical, social, and mental challenges with brilliance. You are extraordinary." Marcus bowed. "Thank you, Princess. Humans thrive by combining observation, intelligence, and cooperation. We overcome challenges not by being stronger, but by being clever, adaptable, and persistent." Valira nodded thoughtfully. "I asked a question when you arrived, a question about your stamina. Now I realize, stamina alone does not define you. Your true strength lies in your mind, your creativity, and your bonds with each other." Arya smiled. "And that, Princess, is what humans do best. We survive, we adapt, and we amaze, even when the odds are against us." Valira's eyes softened. For the first time, she felt genuine respect for a species outside her own. "Humans, you are remarkable. I must learn everything I can from you." Marcus glanced at his crew. "We will share what we can, Princess, but much of human strength comes from experience, challenge, and adaptation. It cannot be given, it must be lived." The humans spent the evening in the ceremonial garden, sharing stories of Earth, their adventures, and their triumphs. Lyrixians listened eagerly, fascinated by humans' ability to turn hardship into growth, struggle into humor, and challenges into opportunity. Valira walked among them, observing. She realized that humans were not just resilient, they thrived in adversity, finding solutions where others saw only obstacles. At night, under twin moons and shimmering crystal skies, she whispered to herself, "This is why they survive, why they endure, why they amaze." Humans are truly extraordinary. For the humans, it was just another day. Yet in the eyes of Lyrixa, they had done the impossible. They had entered alien society, faced its greatest challenges, and left even the most intelligent observers in awe. The next morning, Lyrixa glowed under a pale pink sun, casting soft reflections on the crystalline towers. Captain Marcus Reeve and his crew walked through the ceremonial garden, joined by Princess Valira. Today, the princess intended to uncover the truth about humans, about their vitality, endurance, and the qualities that made them so extraordinary. Valira had spent hours observing, questioning, and reflecting. She had seen humans adapt to alien challenges, navigate social dilemmas, and demonstrate creativity that no Lyricson could match. Yet her curiosity lingered. She approached Marcus with her usual directness. "Captain Marcus," she said, her golden eyes gleaming, "I must ask again, your species' stamina, your resilience, does it extend to reproduction?" Marcus paused, considering his response carefully. He understood the princess's curiosity. It was not meant to embarrass, but to understand. He smiled calmly. "Princess Valira, humans are remarkable in many ways," he began. "Our stamina and resilience are not limited to one aspect of life. We endure harsh climates, solve problems that seem impossible, create bonds that last lifetimes, and yes, our species reproduces in ways that ensure survival and adaptation. But this is only a part of what makes humans extraordinary." Valira tilted her head. "Explain this. I wish to understand fully." Marcus gestured to the garden around them. The humans had built temporary shelters, organized meals, and even planted small earth plants that had survived the alien soil. "Princess, human strength lies in the combination of our body, mind, and spirit. Our endurance is physical, but our creativity, problem-solving, and social bonds are what truly allow us to survive and thrive. Reproduction is one small part of a much larger story." Valira listened intently. She had expected a simple answer, perhaps a number or a statistic, but Marcus spoke of something far more profound: the human spirit. "Show me this," she said, her voice soft. "I wish to see how this applies in action." Marcus smiled. "Then, let us demonstrate not through words, but through what humans do best: adapt, overcome, and inspire." The first demonstration was a physical endurance exercise, but unlike the previous challenges, this one was unpredictable. Lyricson engineers had created a vast terrain filled with shifting platforms, sudden obstacles, and zones with altered gravity. Humans had to navigate the environment while completing tasks that tested both their bodies and their minds. Arya Chen led the team, moving with graceful precision. The platform shifted beneath her feet, yet she adapted instinctively, leaping, sliding, and balancing with ease. Marcus followed, calculating movements and guiding his crew. Every member demonstrated not just strength but ingenuity under pressure. Valira's eyes widened. "Your adaptability, it is astounding. No Lyricson could navigate this without prior knowledge, yet you seem to anticipate every change." Marcus nodded. "Princess, humans succeed by observing carefully, analyzing quickly, and improvising solutions. We learn from every challenge and adapt instantly." Next, the humans participated in a problem-solving trial. The challenge involved alien machinery that could only be activated through a combination of logic, creativity, and teamwork. Humans had no prior experience with these devices, yet they approached them with calm confidence. One crew member, Lieutenant Jalen Ortiz, examined a complex device projecting holographic patterns. After a moment, he realized that by interacting with certain symbols in sequence, the machine responded positively. Marcus assisted another device by combining gestures, communication, and observation. Slowly, the devices activated, creating a chain reaction that illuminated the chamber in dazzling colors. Valira gasped. You approach problems differently. Lyricsons rely on logic and pre-programmed methods, but you combine observation, intuition, and creativity. It is extraordinary." Marcus smiled. "That is the human way. We do not see obstacles as limitations, but as opportunities to innovate." After the mechanical trial, Valira introduced a social and cultural challenge. A group of Lyricsons presented dilemmas requiring negotiation, empathy, and understanding. The humans had to mediate without causing disruption, an exercise in both diplomacy and emotional intelligence. Arya acted as mediator, guiding conversations and interpreting subtle cues. Marcus offered solutions that balanced fairness and creativity. Other crew members suggested compromises that the aliens had never considered. Within moments, the Lyricsons acknowledged the humans' success through a chorus of harmonious sounds, a form of applause unique to their culture. Valira's admiration grew. Humans, your social intelligence is profound. You maintain harmony while innovating solutions. That is a strength few can match. Marcus bowed slightly. Princess, human resilience is not just physical. It is mental, emotional, and social. We thrive because we adapt, collaborate, and persist in every situation. The final trial was perhaps the most revealing. Humans were invited to participate in a combined endurance and cultural exercise. They had to navigate a challenging terrain, solve puzzles, and participate in a Lyricson ritual simultaneously. The humans entered the arena, working together seamlessly. As platforms shifted and puzzles emerged, they adapted instantly, communicating through gestures, glances, and subtle verbal cues. When a ritual segment required precise timing and coordination, the humans integrated it effortlessly, respecting alien customs while applying their own creativity. Valira observed from above, her expression one of amazement. Your species, it is not merely resilient. You combine intellect, creativity, and endurance in ways that surpass expectation. You do not simply survive, you thrive. Marcus smiled. Princess, this is the essence of humanity. Our strength is not measured by a single act, nor by a single ability. It is the combination of mind, body, and spirit that allows us to endure, adapt, and inspire. As the trials concluded, Valira approached Marcus and his crew. Her golden eyes reflected a newfound respect. I asked about stamina, but now I see. Stamina alone does not define your species. Your true power lies in your ability to endure challenges, adapt to change, and maintain harmony with one another. Humans, you are remarkable in ways I cannot fully comprehend. Arya laughed softly. So, Captain Marcus, I think we just redefined what it means to amaze an alien princess. Marcus chuckled. We didn't just amaze her, Arya. We showed that humans are extraordinary not because of one trait, but because of the combination of many. Intelligence, creativity, resilience, and teamwork. Valira stepped closer, a small smile forming on her lips. You have opened my eyes. I no longer see your species as curious, but as exceptional, perhaps even inspiring. The humans spent the evening in Lyrixa's ceremonial garden, sharing stories of Earth's triumphs, failures, and discoveries. Lyricsons listened eagerly, fascinated by the humans' ability to turn hardship into growth and challenges into opportunities. Valira walked among them quietly observing. She realized that humans were not just resilient, they thrived under adversity. Their creativity, teamwork, and determination allowed them to accomplish feats that even the most advanced Lyricson could not imagine. Finally, as the twin moons rose in the sky, Valira whispered to herself, humans are extraordinary, not because of strength alone, but because they combine mind, body, and spirit in ways that inspire even the most advanced civilizations. I asked a question out of curiosity, but the truth is far greater than I imagined. Captain Marcus looked up at the moons, reflecting on their journey. Humans endure, adapt, and inspire, he said quietly. That is our true strength. And in that moment, humans and Lyricsons alike understood a universal truth. Human vitality cannot be measured in simple numbers. It is measured in action, creativity, endurance, and the ability to thrive in any situation. Princess Valira smiled, knowing that she had witnessed something extraordinary. Humans had arrived as strangers, but they had demonstrated the very essence of what made their species remarkable. The twin moons of Lyrixa hung low in the sky, casting silver light across the city's crystal towers. The humans had spent weeks on the planet, participating in trials, cultural rituals, and daily life. They had climbed, jumped, solved puzzles, negotiated disputes, and danced in ceremonies. Princess Valira had watched, questioned, and reflected, and by now her respect for the humans had grown into something deeper. Admiration. Captain Marcus Reeve and his crew were gathered in the ceremonial garden, a place of calm and beauty. Bioluminescent, flowers glowed softly around them, and gentle streams created melodic sounds that filled the air. It was here that Princess Valira had summoned them for a final audience before their departure. "You have spent much time observing my world, Princess," Marcus said politely, "and we have learned much from yours." Valira's golden eyes glimmered. "Indeed, Captain Marcus. Your species has left an impression that will not fade quickly. I must confess I had a question when you arrived. A question I thought was of curiosity alone. How many times can humans copulate daily?" Marcus smiled, the same calm, witty expression he had carried throughout their interactions. "Princess, the answer to your question is not important. The true measure of humans is not in one act, one number, or one ability. It is in how we live, endure, and thrive. It is in our intelligence, creativity, teamwork, and resilience. That is what makes humans extraordinary." Valira blinked, silent for a moment. Then a soft laugh escaped her, a sound rare for a Lyricsan of her rank. You have turned a question that I thought simple into a lesson far greater than I imagined. Humans, you are remarkable." Marcus inclined his head. "We appreciate your words, Princess, but we do not act for praise. We survive, adapt, and grow because that is our nature. And we hope, in the process, to inspire others, even those as advanced as Lyrixa." The humans' departure was planned for the next day. Preparations for the farewell had already begun. Lyricsans of all kinds came to witness the humans' final demonstrations not out of duty, but out of genuine fascination. For the first time in Lyrix's history, a species from another world had earned universal admiration. Marcus and his crew were invited to showcase one last display, not of strength, but of human ingenuity and unity. The humans built a temporary bridge spanning a wide crystal chasm. Using minimal tools and with no prior knowledge of lyrics and materials, they designed a structure that was stable, elegant, and functional. Lyricsans gasped as each plank was placed with precision, the humans working together seamlessly, anticipating each other's movements and correcting mistakes instantly. Valira stepped closer, her expression a mixture of awe and curiosity. "Humans, this construction is simple in appearance yet flawless in execution. It reflects your species' nature perfectly." Marcus nodded. "Princess, humans succeed not by strength alone, but by cooperation, foresight, and creativity. We adapt to challenges, learn quickly, and work as one. That is the essence of what makes us capable." The bridge was completed, standing tall and solid. It symbolized more than engineering skill. It symbolized human adaptability, teamwork, and determination. Lyricsans could hardly believe what they had witnessed. After the demonstration, the humans were invited to a ceremony of appreciation. Citizens and officials gathered to honor their accomplishments. Lyrics and music, subtle, harmonic, and glowing with light, filled the plaza. The humans, unfamiliar with the alien custom, bowed politely, smiling at the admiration they received. Princess Valira approached Captain Marcus. Her golden eyes held a warmth and respect that humans rarely experienced from other species. "Captain Marcus, your species has proven more than I could have imagined. You adapt, endure, and thrive in ways that surpass even our most advanced citizens. I had a question out of curiosity, but I now understand the answer is not numbers or acts. It is your nature. You are extraordinary." Marcus smiled. "Thank you, Princess. That is a gift we will carry with us. And know this, we leave Lyrixa not to boast, but to continue exploring, learning, and sharing. Our presence is only the beginning of a lasting connection." Valira nodded. "Your words and deeds will be remembered. Humans, you have left a legacy here." That evening, as the humans prepared their starship, Valera offered a final gesture of respect. She presented the crew with Lyrixen, crystals, each containing a holographic record of the trials, rituals, and interactions they had experienced. These crystals were not mere souvenirs. They were symbols of honor, admiration, and recognition of human excellence. Arya held her crystal, examining the intricate patterns. "I don't think anyone back on Earth will believe this," she said, laughing softly. "We built bridges, solved alien puzzles, and impressed a princess with nothing but creativity and endurance." Marcus nodded. "Perhaps, but it does not matter. What matters is what we learned and the respect we earned. Humans leave marks not only on worlds, but on minds and hearts." The humans' farewell was filled with warmth. Lyrixens lined the streets, shimmering with light and offering gestures of friendship. Children waved tiny floating devices that created patterns of color in the air. Scholars and scientists exchanged notes with the crew. Even Valera herself walked beside the humans, sharing her observations, questions, and thoughts. "You have changed my perspective," Valera said softly. "I had assumptions about your species, but you have shattered them. Humans, you are more capable, more resilient, and more remarkable than I imagined." Marcus bowed respectfully. "Thank you, Princess. That is the greatest honor a human can receive, recognition from those who understand excellence." The humans boarded the Endeavor, the engines humming with quiet power. As the ship lifted from the crystalline platform, the city of Lyrixa spread, beneath them, glowing under twin moons. From the observation deck, Marcus, Arya, and the crew watched as Princess Valera waved, a faint shimmer of golden light radiating from her. "You will be remembered," she said quietly. "Not just for what you did, but for who you are." Marcus nodded. "And we will remember Lyrixa, a world of beauty, intelligence, and curiosity, and a princess who dared to ask questions, even awkward ones, to understand another species fully." The Endeavor shot into space, leaving Lyrixa behind, but not the mark it had made. Humans had arrived as visitors, curious and cautious. They had faced trials, learned customs, adapted to challenges, and demonstrated the extraordinary nature of their species. By the time they left, even the most skeptical Lyrixens were speechless, not at what humans could do physically, but at how they lived, thought, and collaborated. In the quiet of the ship, Marcus reflected on their journey. "It's strange," he said. "We came here expecting to be guests, and somehow we became an example." Arya laughed softly. "Humans always find a way to leave an impression. Even aliens can't resist noticing what we do best." Marcus smiled, looking at the stars. "It's not about impressing others. It's about living up to our nature. We adapt, endure, and thrive. We work together, solve problems, and face challenges head-on. That's who we are." Valera's words echoed in his mind. "Humans, you are extraordinary." And he knew they had proven it, not through force or domination, but through intelligence, creativity, teamwork, and resilience. Weeks later, back on Earth, the humans recounted their adventures on Lyrixa. Scholars listened in awe, scientists analyzed the data, and children imagined a world of floating cities and golden-eyed aliens. Yet for Marcus and his crew, the true lesson was simple. Humanity thrives not because of one talent, but because of the combination of many. And that combination is extraordinary anywhere in the galaxy. And somewhere, far across the stars, Princess Valera looked up at the sky and whispered to herself, a smile on her lips. "I asked a question expecting an answer of numbers. Instead, I found a species that amazes in every way. Humans, they are truly remarkable." The galaxy had witnessed the arrival of humans on Lyrixa. They had not conquered, they had not intimidated, and they had not boasted. They had done something far more powerful. They had shown the universe the brilliance of humanity.